of goats in the building for you all today. As female athletes, NWSL, let me hear you. You all see, this is a boom. Men and women are investing because not only are these athletes incredible, but because women's sports are a lucrative business decision. So today we have convened a spectacular brain trust, 5 phenomenal athletes, all with their hands in the women's sports ownership game. This is a seat at the table. Are you ready to meet our guests? All right, first up, what can I say? He's a GOAT. He's also a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders and the W's Las Vegas Aces. Please welcome Tom Brady. I told you we had GOATs. Thank you, Tom. Next up, she's an Olympic gold medalist and a legend in the world of skiing. The queen, an investor, entrepreneur, and advocate. Her unwavering drive to succeed has seen her take ownership roles in women's soccer with the Utah Royals and Angel City. The one, the only, Lindsey Vonn! Incredible. Hello there, Lindsey. All right, a 2-time WNBA MVP, 3-time WNBA champion, Basketball Hall of Famer, and the co-owner of NWSL's Angel City franchise, Candace Parker. There she is. All right, next, she needs no introduction. She is the greatest, one of the greatest tennis players we've ever seen step on a court. I need y'all to get louder for this next one. Come on. We got a night on the world of fashion, business, ownership stakes in the Toronto Tempo, Angel City, and even the Miami Dolphins. It is Serena Williams. I promise you all some legends. We have one more surprise guest on the way. We'll intro him when he gets here, but we will get started. Let's get started. All righty.
What's up, Fanatics Fest? You having fun?
I saw someone there in the Brady jersey. There we
They
go.
come in a little Michigan jersey. I love seeing that.
It is so incredible to see everybody else understand what we have known all along, which is that women's sports
Well, first, obviously great to be with you guys, and I love being up here with these 3 amazing women who have shown what women are truly capable at the very highest level of sport, and their commitment, their dedication to what they love to do has inspired so many women around the world, so many young athletes, and so many young women need to be inspired too, and these 3 women here to my right should be looked up to for everything they have accomplished on the court, and on the slopes, and then beyond that as entrepreneurs as well. So I love being up here with them, and obviously I've been in sports a long time. I've had opportunities to invest in different things. I had the opportunity about 3.5 years Aces, the WNBA team. We've had a lot of success. Mark Davis founded the franchise. We have one of the great players in the history of the league, Asia Wilson, along with really a great team that focuses on the things that are most important, which is teamwork, camaraderie, discipline, accountability, all the things that really matter. Becky Hammond's one of the greatest coaches ever coached. And I grew up in a household of 3 older sisters. My entire childhood was spent at their games. on the basketball court. I was the little bratty brother in the outfield, like ruining at softball games. And I feel like from the time that I was born to the time I left for college, I was always involved in what my sisters were doing. And I saw the impact and the positive impact it made in their lives. They got to be part of a team. They got to be a part of something bigger than themselves as an individual. And it taught them a lot of discipline. It taught them a lot of competitiveness. A lot of things over to many other opportunities. Time and energy doing one of the most, well, it's been the winningest thing I've made. Our Aces team has kicked ass, but that's because of those amazing women, what they've done on the court. But I just love being involved in it, and I'm going to continue to support it, you know, all the way until I'm no longer here on this planet.
And I know we've got some Asia Wilson fans out there.
Yes, we do.
I know, one of the absolute best. Lindsey, tell me about your involvement. It was really great to read how you felt like this was a different way to impact players, to have a different way to show the next generation how you can find power in sports. Why was that important?
I mean, if I were an athlete on a soccer team, I couldn't imagine someone like Serena or Candace or Tom investing in me and how good that would feel, that they believed in me. So I think for me, it's really important to pay it forward. I want to show them how much I believe in them and women's sports. So I invested in LAFC and also the Utah Royals. But honestly, Serena was a huge impact on me because she was such a pioneer in investing in the Dolphins. She was so far ahead of us. And I'm not lucky enough to be in an ownership group of an NFL team, but I think being involved in women's ownership is maybe slightly cooler than NFL, but I would take NFL anytime. So if you need an investment partner in Vegas, you just let me know.
And you know, Lindsey, I think that you are one of many people in here that have been inspired by the one, the only. All right, before I ask you all another question, we do have another guest here. A three-time NBA scoring champion, a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team, a part owner of the Houston Dash, the Beard, James Harden. So glad you're here.
Why do the NBA players always show up late?
Why they always late? But you're here. Candace, I know that this moment has to just be really great for you. You are one of our all-time greats, and now you are able to walk into basketball arenas that are sold out. And a lot of that is because of the work that you put in. And now you stand here as an owner in other women's sports. What are the emotions that just come with that journey from then to now?
Well, I think everybody on the stage knew what was possible for women's sports. It was just about opportunity and visibility. And so, you know, I grew up the younger sister of two older brothers, and I had parents in my household that told me that I could do and be just like them. And so, my brother was drafted into the NBA when I was 11 years old, and it changed the way I thought about professional sports. And then the WNBA started in '97. And I got to see Lisa Leslie and Cynthia Cooper and Tina Thompson just take it to another level. And, you know, in the major 5 sports, it usually takes 30 years to really be able to see where a sport is. You look at what tennis and Billie Jean King did. It usually takes about 30 years to see the rise and the monetary value. And that's what it was. In year 30, this is year 30 for the WNBA, we're now seeing, with visibility, with women that are sitting up here, with men that have understood the process and what it takes to be an athlete, uplifting women, why we're successful now. And so I'm just excited that my daughter is gonna have the same opportunities as my son is now. And I just am super grateful. Yeah, I'm super grateful for the women that are continuing to not only define what we are inside of the lines, I think that's a huge part, but also outside of the lines and what the WNBA has stood for.
Absolutely. I gotta say, I'm fangirling a lot, and it's hard for me to even ask Serena Williams a question right now, but I've got one for you. You hear Candace talk about her daughter. Something that you have discussed a lot is that you want to make this a better world generally, but also a better world in sports for your kids. How has that pushed you forward as an owner?
Well, as an owner, I think it's something that I always found important to me, and not just for my daughters. I love my daughters more than anything on this earth. But at the same time, it's really about paying it forward. I think that's what Lindsey said. And so it is really about all of our daughters and all of our sisters. And it's so important that you have an opportunity to open the door for others. I'm in a very similar position to Candace. I started playing tennis when I was super young. And you can see the growth. And back then there was no ownership in anything that was available unless those opportunities just didn't exist. And so when those opportunities did present itself, I thought it was really important to act on them, whether it was in the Miami Dolphins 20 years ago or 15 years ago, or in the Toronto Tempo. I just feel like there's just so much opportunity for us now that just wasn't available even 10 years ago or 5 years ago. It's just everything has changed. But one thing that I always say is women's sports has always been amazing. You talked about Lisa Leslie, the Billie Jean King, and the list can never stop. People now are just realizing how awesome and how amazing women are, and how we also can sell out stadiums, quite frankly.
Yes, come on!
And I think that, this new movement is great, but this is not anything new. This is something that we've been doing for decades, and we'll continue to do for decades and millennia.
Absolutely. And Candace, that is something that you and I have talked about a lot, that language is important when we're discussing women's sports. This is not something new, it's that everybody else is now catching up.
Yeah, I think everybody's catching up because the women have taken ownership of their brands, of their likeness. We talk about the impact, especially in women's sports, that NIL has had, because you come into the pros with a price and you walk into the door already into a league that is younger than a lot of the universities that we played for. And before, it kind of fizzled out, and now, because of the ability to take ownership of your brand, because of the ability to tell your story, now brands are paying attention, because women are at the forefront of buying in the household, right? And so you have these amazing stories of women and men that have been a part of sports. I'll tell you, I went out and threw a football like Tom Brady so many times. I'm from Chicago, so didn't really like the Patriots, but I messed with Tom Brady. But listen, I mean, how many times have we gone out and Euro stuff like James, but now it's like our young girls get to look up to women that look like them, that come from where they're from. And so I think just across the board, even in media, Taylor, I mean, how many times are young, especially African-American women, coming up to you and seeing you calling men's basketball on Amazon?
Absolutely.
So I just think that across the board now, hiring women and seeing that visibility is super important.
I appreciate that. It's such a beautiful time to be a part of. And James, how you doing over there?
I'm doing amazing. How you doing?
I love it. James, I love that your ownership in the Houston Dash is also an extension of this city that you love so much. How do you all add to one another's stories?
I think I saw an opportunity, obviously, to get back to the community of Houston, but I think it's bigger than that. I think soccer is a global sport, obviously, and to pour into the city, to pour into the sport, it was an amazing opportunity. So, like the ladies up here said, just the opportunity of showing and seeing, is very, very important. And, but I think the global, the visibility is very important, for the Dash, and for me, I think pouring into it is something that I see an opportunity in. So I'm grateful.
I love it. I love that you love the city that loves you back. That's incredible. So I have a few more questions for them, but I do want to recognize a few things, starting with Miss Lindsey Vonn. She is obviously the most successful female alpine skier in history. She's an Olympian, she's a warrior, she's a winner, and I just want a round of applause to send her some love as she completes her rehab journey. We are all rooting for you, my girl. I also want to recognize my friend, my teammate, Candace Parker, who is now a Hall of Famer. Come on. One of the best to ever do it. And then we were also all just so lucky to see the GOAT back on the court. Give it up for Serena Williams. Now, Tom, there are so many different times throughout your career that when people have asked you who inspires you, you have named Serena. What is it about Serena and also just women's athletes that have set the blueprint and the standard for everybody else?
Well, I was very fortunate. You know, I had mom. My mom was probably the most competitive woman athlete in our family and set the tone for our entire household growing up. And the one sport she loved was tennis. Played it all the time, and we lived out in California, so I just always remember as a kid waking up and watching Wimbledon at 6 in the morning, watching the French Open at 6 in the morning, and falling in love with the sport. So I had a great appreciation for it. I love women's tennis. I love tennis in general. And then Serena are both from California. We're kind of around the same age, so she was almost like a peer and someone that I looked up to. So I love sports, and I think what I really admire about Serena is she had so much expectation even from a young woman. She was very talented, and a lot of people knew about her at a young age, but she had total conviction about what she wanted to accomplish, and she knew that nobody was going to give it to her. She had such an intense desire to compete. I think she's one of the most competitive human beings on the planet. She hates to lose. Hates to lose. And when you have someone that I think has success, but then doubles down on all those reasons why she's successful, she not only wins one major, goes on to win 23 majors, and that is a motivation. I think that you're not motivated by one or two. You're motivated to be the best you can be every single day by approaching that day with all the reasons why you're successful. She's a tremendous work ethic. She's very committed to the sport. She's committed to take care of her body. And over time, she just got to be, she's really a tennis genius. And to have the opportunity in all of our lifetimes, we're going to see it on Sunday with Leo Messi. It's like, how fortunate are you to be around to watch someone who's the very, very best? And Serena was my age, so I got to see her do it every single one of those majors I was watching. And she did it all. So gave me a lot of reasons to keep going. Now she's surpassed that. She's still going. And I just love being a big fan of hers and all that she continues to do as a mom, as a wife, as a friend. I'm just an entrepreneur and still as an athlete.
Oh, I love that. Give it up for that. Loved every single word. And you know, Lindsey, for you, I love your story. I admire so much of what you've done. I saw her at a party the other night. I just started bowing. I was like, Lindsey Vonn has arrived. I think when it comes to winning, you also know that better than anybody else in the world. And what sticks out to me about what Tom is saying is, too often when we talk about athletes that are women, we only talk about them through the scope of inspiring women, when really they're inspiring everybody. How have you seen that in your career? That it isn't, she is not one of the greatest female alpine skiers. She is one of the greatest skiers ever, period. Period. Why is it always important to discuss it in that way?
I mean, growing up, I didn't think about being the best female skier. You know, I don't put it in those terms. I think we all just want to be the best athlete we can be, and I think that needs to be the conversation. You know, it's not about women or men. It's having equal opportunity and to be the best that you can be every single day. It's wanting to be number one, not based on your gender, but based on your will to want to succeed. So that's always what I focus on growing up. You know, my parents always kind of reminded me of the successful athletes at the time. Mia Hamm was someone that I always looked up to, and she kind of started the trend of women in sports. And my dad always said, "You're lucky to be a woman in sports right now." And I feel lucky to this day to be able to have had the career I've had and to be able to make, you know, the kind of earnings that I have. But the opportunity is still there. And I think we always show what's possible. And I want the next generation to have even more success than we had. So it's not about being the best female, it's about being the best that you can be. And everyone has the opportunity if you believe in yourself.
I love that. Give it up for that message. Incredible. You know, we definitely got to talk some WNBA. Candace, I'm looking at you. You know, I remember last year in Cannes, you said that you will do whatever is possible to get some ownership in a WNBA team. Where are we at on that journey? Are we close? Do we need to get a pitch right now? What are we doing?
Well, I was a part of a bid in Nashville. So I went to the University of Tennessee and I played for the late great Pat Summit. And Knoxville is really home to the beginning of women's basketball. I think the city of Knoxville, University of Tennessee was doing things far beyond. I mean, we were leading the nation in attendance. We had 24,000 people. The rivalry with Connecticut just across the board. And so I'm going to give the pitch here. I think Nashville is a great place for women's basketball.
Nashville, WNBA team?
It deserves, oh, we don't have people from Nashville. Okay. Oh, we got one. Okay. But I just think Nashville's a great city. It doesn't have an NBA team, which I think then it allows the WNBA to carve out what it wants. But yeah, I'm surveying right now. Obviously, I'm partial to the Chicago area. I know my brother D Wade is a part of that ownership group, so I'm surveying. I think there's going to be a number of expansion teams that are in the WNBA in the next coming years, and you know, I'm gonna scope my opportunity. I might join Tom. We'll see.
We'd be lucky to have you.
Aces World Championship. I might have to join.
Anybody would be lucky to have you as part of their organization.
Hey, you gonna get, I have no doubt that you will absolutely be one. Serena, the Toronto Timbo. How are you feeling? I mean, it was so cool when that news dropped that you were going to be a part of it. It was huge on the internet. But I also think when you do something, it just gives it instant notoriety and credibility. What did you want your involvement to signal with the Timbo?
Well, I've been part of women's sports for all my life, and so the WNBA was a team that I was really looking forward to get into, or into some sort of ownership in some way. I have a long history in Toronto. There's always tournaments there that I won a lot, and so I just had this relationship. And so when an opportunity came across, the owner, one of the major owners, Larry, he's been so amazing to work with, and there was a few other opportunities, but I really leaned into that because it's not just for Toronto, it's for all of Canada, and I really liked it. It was for Montreal and all the other things, and so I felt like it was a great opportunity to do, again, something different and something unique. I hate fitting in a box. I don't fit in any box. And I love being different, and I love that those opportunities, you know, were all available. And it just kind of worked itself out. And, you know, I'm on the advisory. We do so much. I was able to hire the president. And so I'm really, really involved with the team in so many different ways. I love that aspect. I love being able to interview and give all this feedback and understanding, like, what are they thinking, and getting into the minds of the players and getting into, like, everything back office. You know, I think that's, as an athlete, I know what's super important for athletes to have in order to succeed and be the best. And we're building something very special at Toronto Timbo. So sorry, Tom, but yeah.
They're
probably rivals.
And also so cool to really be building something from the ground up. That's exciting, and there's just so much possibility. James, you know what it is like to be a basketball star, the basketball star. I'm curious how you see the W right now, feeling like such a star-driven league. What are the advantages and disadvantages of a league that is going in that direction?
I think the marketing. I think women individually are powerful. They're controlling their own narrative. They're speaking out for themselves, which is very important. You know, I think they have the platform to do it. They're doing a really good job with it. But you know, I think they're, you know, from Angel to, you know, Caitlin to Asia Wilson, just name a few. They did a really good job of just being themselves. You know, obviously they put the work in, and you know, I think that the star power pays back. But the W overall as a sport is growing, which I think is a beautiful thing to see. You know, women in general don't get the credit, but they work extremely hard, and I think we look there right. So it's powerful, and I think we, as of lately, these last years or this last decade, I think they're starting getting the visibility and the recognition that they deserve, and so and it's only going to continue to grow, get better. So it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm grateful and happy that these beautiful, you know, stars have led the way, paved the way, and the new generation will continue to take over. So that's powerful.
Yeah, give it up for that, everybody. And you know, Candace, going off that, I mean, roster spots in the W are competitive. And right now, everyone is talking about expansion. We have new teams coming. But how do you think the owners should be thinking about expansion and the rate at which we do so?
Well, we saw 2 more expansion teams this year. There was an expansion team last year that is the first team that is valuation reached $1 billion with the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah.
And you talk about how it was done, right? Obviously, Silicon Valley is not shy to money. And so being able to have something that is built there, but it is a completely different fan base than what the Golden State Warriors bring. It is a completely different environment. And I think owners, in terms of obviously roster slots, but also building the business, you cannot think of it as a copy and paste. It's a separate fan base. And so I think the Valkyrie being that lead in how you expand. Then you take it to Portland. They've done it in a completely different way. The tempo as well. But now we're going to see more teams expanding through 2030, which means more roster spots. But as we all understand that there's a lot of players that are great role players, and there's a lot that goes into player development, which we're going to see. But there's very few 1A and 2A people, and 1A and 2A talent. And so I think now with more players having opportunity, they're going to be able to grow into that. I look at it like like the 90s, right? When the NBA was expanding, there's going to be some bad teams that are going to take L's. But it's all about player development. It's all about getting better. And I think that we should expand our roster spots because I think player development should be a key point.
All right, to close us out, I have this last question just for all of you. You know, we are all so excited and energized by where women's sports are right now. But if you could all just tell me one thing you want to see more of to close out the year as we look into 2027. What do you want to see more of in this space?
Start. I feel like I'm always talking.
We'll go around. It's the last question.
What do I want to see in just women's sports in general?
Yeah.
I really want to go last now.
Anyone have their
I want to
answer?
see her win one more major. I want to see Candace keep doing her thing.
One more. What
I want
a
to see Candace do her thing in media, which I love listening to her and her analysis of the broadcast. She did an amazing job doing that. And I want to see this one back on the slopes.
There we go.
LD, ready to go.
Great first answer, Tom.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Lindsey, what do you want to see?
I mean, I'd love to see Serena win. No pressure.
Serena!
I'm like,
Serena!
I'm coming to the US Open, so no pressure. But I mean, no, seriously, I just love sports. I think watching women succeed in sports is really inspiring to me. You didn't do a comeback. I think we've done a comeback. Maybe what's the situation? Well, there's no age limit. I mean, I think that's the one thing I actually changed my mind. That's the one thing I want to see more is women believing that they can do it at an older age. We are not restricted. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to push forward. You know, Serena's setting new standards. I hope that I push my sport forward. The next lowest below me winner was 33 years old, and I won at 41. So you never know what's possible until you do it. So just go fucking do it.
Come on, that is, give it up for Lindsey Vonn, everybody. Candace, what more do you want to see?
I mean, I would love to see her win. So we put that in there 100%. We're just doing 3 for 3 right now. I also am really excited because I love football. So I'm really excited about flag football in 2028.
Yes.
Which I think creates a whole nother avenue for women who love the game of football. And I just think that the U.S. is going to kick ass in 2028 in the Olympics. And it's in LA as well. And then the third thing, I want to see a woman in a board governor role for an NFL or an NBA team. So I think that's on the horizon, and you know, I think we're all going to do our part to make sure that that happens in our lifetime.
Serena, looking at you.
Well, I would like to see this continued support of women's sports and understanding that women are amazing athletes and giving us more space to grow, giving us more opportunities to play through every sport, whether that's in college or whether that's professional. I would also like to see me win at least one match. And I would And I would also like to just see women support each other. I think it's nothing more powerful than another woman supporting each other, lifting ourselves up and letting each other know that we have each other's back through everything. And I think that if we continue to do that, then we're going to continue to grow in this sport.
Definitely. James, close us out.
Since we are here talking about women, and I don't know, like, if, you know, people have seen, like, what it takes to actually be here to where you guys have been. You have, you know, to get to an NBA, but I don't think, you know, we get enough credit, or get enough credit to see women at a young age to be able to make it to the WNBA or make it to, you know, the elite level of tennis or skiing, you know, or whatever the case, or whatever sports you want to play. So finding a way to, you know, show how hard it takes, not only for, you know, obviously men, for women to be able to get to a high level in whatever individual sport. So that would be cool, and it'd be something special.
Yeah, investing in the future of women's sports. Y'all, please give it up one last time for this incredible group. James Harden, Serena Williams, Candace Parker, Lindsey Vonn,